Imagine planning your dream wedding for next month. The venue is booked, the flowers are chosen, and the guest list is finalized. But just as everything is coming together, you get the news. The federal courthouse where you were supposed to get your marriage license has shut down. The staff handling your paperwork have been furloughed, your loan approval for the honeymoon is delayed, and the airline you booked through is warning of possible cancellations due to staff shortages. This is not a rare story. It's what thousands of Americans are going through right now because of the U.S. government shutdown. When the government stops running, it's not just a line in the news or a fight between politicians in Washington. It's something that touches real lives. It means delayed paychecks, disrupted plans, and mounting stress for families who are simply trying to live their lives. And the impact doesn't stop there. It spreads to small businesses, homeowners, travelers, and anyone counting on federal services to keep things moving. This isn't just politics anymore. This shutdown is hitting your wallet, your plans, and your future. A government shutdown happens when Congress fails to pass a federal budget or a temporary funding bill, leaving government agencies without money to operate fully. When that happens, non-essential federal workers, such as clerks, administrative staff, and many agency employees, are sent home without pay. Essential workers, like air traffic controllers and border patrol officers, must still show up for work, but don't get paid until the shutdown ends. During the 2018 to 2019 shutdown, which lasted a record 35 days, around 800,000 federal employees missed paychecks. Many turned to food banks or short-term loans just to get by. National parks closed, small business loans froze, and even routine services like passport processing came to a halt. The same risks are building again today. The longer Congress delays funding, the more families and businesses will feel the pinch. A shutdown isn't just a pause in government. It's a direct hit to millions of Americans who depend on timely services, stable jobs, and predictable income. And while the political debates continue in Washington, the real cost is quietly piling up for everyday people. When the government shuts down, the first people to feel the shock are the federal employees. Over 4 million Americans, including both direct workers and contractors. Many of them live paycheck to paycheck, just like the average household. During the 2018 to 2019 shutdown, hundreds of thousands of federal workers missed 2 full pay cycles. TSA officers, air traffic controllers, and IRS employees went weeks without income. Some resorted to credit cards and personal loans just to pay rent or buy groceries. Now imagine that situation rippling across local economies. When federal workers stop spending, small businesses, from diners near government buildings to local childcare centers, suddenly see fewer customers. In Washington, D.C., for instance, restaurants reported revenue losses of up to 30% during the last major shutdown. It's a domino effect. Less income for workers means less spending at stores, and less business income means fewer hours for employees. But it doesn't stop there. Mortgages and home loans also get hit. Many government-backed loans, including FHA, VA, and USDA loans, depend on federal employees to review, approve, and process paperwork. When those offices shut down, everything comes to a standstill. Home buyers waiting to close on their first house suddenly can't because their mortgage can't be approved. Sellers are left hanging. Buyers lose locked-in interest rates, and moving plans are delayed. During the last shutdown, some realtors reported losing entire deals because buyers simply couldn't wait any longer. Then there's the issue of delayed benefits and refunds. Tax refunds, small business loans, and even Social Security or veterans benefits can slow to a crawl. During the 2019 shutdown, the Internal Revenue Service faced backlogs of millions of returns, and some low-income families who rely on early refunds to pay bills were left waiting for weeks. It's easy to forget that federal systems like the IRS or the SBA are massive lifelines for everyday Americans, until they stop working. For small business owners, the shutdown can feel like a trap. Many depend on Small Business Administration SBA loans to expand, hire, or stay afloat. But when funding stops, so does their cash flow. One restaurant owner in Maryland told reporters during the last shutdown that her expansion plan was frozen mid-construction. She had staff waiting to be hired, but no access to the capital she'd been approved for. Even those not directly tied to federal programs aren't spared. The uncertainty around a shutdown tends to shake consumer confidence. People start spending less, holding back on big purchases, and waiting to see what happens next. Economists estimate that each week of a federal shutdown shaves $1.6 billion to $2 billion off the U.S. economy. It might sound small compared to the trillions in GDP, but that's money pulled straight out of local communities. Wages, sales, and savings that vanish into thin air. And finally, there's the psychological toll. When people don't know if their paycheck is coming, they cut back on spending, delay medical visits, cancel family plans, and brace for uncertainty. This fear-driven behavior magnifies the financial slowdown, even for those not directly affected. It's a reminder that the economy isn't just about numbers. It's about confidence. And confidence collapses quickly when the government stops functioning. A government shutdown doesn't just close offices in Washington. It freezes paychecks, stalls loans, kills business momentum, and drains confidence from the entire system. For millions of Americans, that means stress, debt, and disruption. All while political leaders argue over budgets they don't have to personally feel. When people hear government shutdown, they imagine something distant. Politicians arguing in Washington, some budget papers not being signed. But the reality is painfully personal. It means thousands of life moments, weddings, vacations, home moves, and even medical treatments, suddenly thrown into chaos. Let's start with weddings. Every year, tens of thousands of couples get married in national parks, courthouses, or government-owned venues. During a shutdown, those venues close. Marriage licenses issued through county courthouses are delayed because the clerks who process them are furloughed. In the 2018 shutdown, couples across the country were forced to postpone or relocate their ceremonies at the last minute. Imagine spending months planning your dream day, deposits paid, family traveling in, only to be told you can't legally tie the knot because the office that stamps your license is closed. Some couples ended up holding symbolic ceremonies and had to wait weeks to make it official. Then comes travel. Americans don't usually connect federal budgets with their vacations, but a shutdown makes that link painfully clear. Passport and visa applications slow down or stop completely. During the last major shutdown, some passport offices ran with skeleton staff, causing weeks of delays. National parks and monuments, from Yosemite to the Statue of Liberty, closed or limited entry, stranding thousands of tourists and ruining holiday plans. Even air travel can be affected. Air traffic controllers and TSA workers are considered essential, so they still work, but without pay. In 2019, unpaid controllers in several major airports called in sick en masse, leading to delays and cancellations across the country. A single missed paycheck was enough to start fraying the system Americans rely on to move safely and efficiently. And while some families delay trips or cancel weddings, small business owners face a different kind of crisis. A financial standstill. Many rely on federal agencies for permits, inspections, or contracts. A construction company waiting for a federal project approval, a farmer expecting a USDA payment, or a cafe near a government complex. They all get hit at once. During the 2019 shutdown, business groups reported that almost 41% of small businesses with federal ties had to cut hours, reduce operations, or delay payments to suppliers. Some even had to lay off workers temporarily because cash flow stopped. For individuals, it feels like life is frozen. Plans that seemed simple, getting married, traveling, growing a business, suddenly depend on a government that isn't answering the phone. The financial strain grows daily. Deposits lost, interest charges building, and uncertainty spreading. Even those who aren't directly affected start pulling back, afraid to spend or commit to big purchases. And perhaps the most frustrating part, ordinary people are the ones forced to sacrifice and adapt, while the political deadlock that caused all this drags on far above them. Families postpone the happiest moments of their lives. Small businesses struggle to survive, and millions of Americans learn, yet again, that when the government shuts down, it's the public who pays the price. The shutdown couldn't come at a worse time, right before the holiday season. Families already stretched thin by rising prices are now facing uncertainty about their next paycheck. Federal employees who usually boost local economies through holiday spending are cutting back. Retailers are reporting weaker sales, and some small businesses are warning they might not make it through the winter if consumer spending stays this low. And with fewer people shopping, the entire supply chain slows down. Retail jobs, which usually peak in December, are now at risk. What was supposed to be a season of joy and giving has turned into one of waiting and worrying. The shutdown isn't just closing offices, it's quietly draining the energy out of Main Street America. When the government shuts down, the impact doesn't stay in Washington. It reaches every home, every wallet, and every dream. From delayed weddings to canceled travel, from missed paychecks to empty stores, the cost is paid by ordinary people just trying to live normal lives. So next time you hear about a shutdown, remember, it's not just politics, it's personal. If this video helped you understand what's really going on, hit that like button, subscribe for more clear, real-world financial breakdowns, and share this video with someone who needs to know how government decisions can hit their wallet. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone you know been affected by a government shutdown before? Tell me your story or thoughts in the comments below.